This weekend has been a crazy time at the movies, to say the least. We had one of the best movies of the year, maybe the decade, in one battle after another. But there was also another movie that got released this weekend, and it wasn't quite on the same level. Oh boy. The Strangers Chapter 2 is the sequel to the absolute bombshell that came out last year, The Strangers Chapter 1. And this is a direct continuation of the first. There's no time jump or anything like that. It just goes straight in and carries on with its story. So the general idea is, when the strangers learn that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, they return to finish what they started. And that is pretty much all you need to know going into this. If you've seen the first one, you know exactly what to expect. If you've seen the trailer, she's just put in hospital and it just goes from there. Personally, I didn't even know if I was going to watch this film, let alone review it, just because of how awful the first one was. But worse has come to worst and I'm here, so let's talk about it. Before we do that though, if you're new here, I'm Kyle. I do movie reviews, film discussions, things like that. So if that sounds like it's your thing, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really means the world to me. Anyway, on with the review. So, The Strangers Chapter 2. Judging by my opening, you can guess how I feel about this movie. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this isn't going to be a good review. I just got bad things to say about it. There isn't really anything positive going for it. But I did want to make this video anyway because I do think it makes for a good discussion on what makes a bad horror film. The main question I have for this film, and these films in general, is why was it made into a trilogy? Because the original 2008 Strangers was a tight-paced thriller that got in and out just like that. It was fairly ambiguous and it didn't really waste any time. Whereas these films are attempting to flesh that out, which there's nothing wrong with. But they need to have at least an idea of what they're going to flesh out. Sorry, a good idea. Because there are none here. This entire film comprises of a character being chased, them finding a hiding spot, and the killer looking around ominously, while the music builds and we're supposed to be scared by a loud, sudden noise. There is absolutely no suspense, and it's just done in the most sloppy way you could possibly do it. It was pretty much the same thing in The Stranger Chapter 1. So if you like that, that's great, but for me, it just is everything I hate about horror. And because this is the second installment in the trilogy, it does attempt to answer some questions that didn't need to be answered, but it is just done in the most boring and basic way you could do it. And it's attempting to give them backstories, but those backstories are just so predictable and laughable. And I mean that. There were reveals in this and I laughed. It's extremely silly, but it thinks it's being interesting and it just doesn't work. The unknown is just far scarier than anything you could show us on the screen. And in attempting to make the strangers more character than faceless psychopaths who are out to kill random people, it just takes away any sort of intrigue that was there. And to me anyway, it makes it far less scary. There is a strong focus on the character Maya as well, and she does get put into some pretty tough situations, and I was rooting for her, but not because of her excellent character development or a love for the actress, who was good by the way, but she just was fine. I was rooting for her for the simple reason of the strangers were done so badly and they were just painful to watch. In a usual review, I would usually have something positive to say at least, but I just don't here. This is just bogged down, boring trash. And the thing is, I still watched it knowing it was going to be that going in. That's the thing too. With a movie like this, you would expect it to be kind of like a popcorn horror film, as the bare minimum, but it's just not. It's just really boring. I'm usually completely concentrated when I'm watching a film and I've got all my focus on it. But with this, I found myself drifting off in my own thoughts, which is extremely rare for me. I'm usually in the zone. But this was just that boring. Overall, I thought this was the worst movie of the year, and I wouldn't wish anyone to watch this, not even my worst enemy. It is certified crap. Really, 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 really bad. But that's just my opinion. If you like this movie, that's great. I wish I could have. If you did like it, I'd love to know what you thought and why you like it. So let me know down in the comments. Even if you didn't like it, still, let me know. I'd love to know what you thought. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and go watch some movies.